I started working with Louisa in the Dream Bigger space, her membership, and I was just doing the what I was calling in for the week. I think it was $5,000 I was calling in for the week, and the next day I got $2,000. And then over the next 7 days or 6 days, I got an additional $2,300. And I didn't meet the $5,000 goal that I had for that week, but it gave me the confidence that I can do this. This is so simple and easy because I was doing the helixing daily, and that really helped me get into the energy and call in what it is that I wanted.
Like I'm guessing most people here, I've been to a couple of these kind of master classes. Really liked Louisa's approach. Although I'd done a lot of kind of coaching and sort of work on money otherwise, this was the thing that kind of connected the dots and led to that further success. Got a lot from the community too, so you know, you will meet a lot of like-minded people in there, and already you know, forged some really quite strong relationships there with other members, which has been fantastic. Where I was at versus where I've got to, I'm now consistently having £10,000 months, which is fantastic. I'm sure Louise is open to having a call with you if you are interested in what else she offers. Just kind of really lean into it and trust your instinct.
And just being in Louisa's orbit is so empowering, So yeah, I'm very, very grateful to be here. I've told Louisa this and I'll say it again. She is the best coach that I've ever had because she matches me. She works with the energy. She's very loving and accepting. And I'm not one of those people who can just do all strategy. I have to be aligned emotionally and energetically and spiritually with what's going on. And she does that beautifully.
When I first did the energetic edge, I got results like within days. And when I find a teacher that, like I said, she had a new key. She had something that I definitely was missing. And I resonated with her energy. Her energy is amazing. She's so welcoming. She's so generous. She's so knowledgeable. She has so much insight. I'm just like in awe of this energetic person. For me, it's like, this is your next teacher. This is where you're going next.
Nothing has shifted my personal life or the life of my clients faster than working with the amazing set of skills and tools that come with the Helix Method. So if you're looking for something to explore that's going to enhance your practice as well as your personal life and give you a heads up like nothing you've ever seen, my strong recommendation is that you check out the Helix Method.
Welcome everyone, getting started in just one moment. Good to see you here. A huge welcome. Hi Jenny, hi Faustina, hi Jaylene, hi Irene. Tina's here. Welcome everybody, welcome. These people are finding their way to us. Let's get nice and comfortable. Would love just to have a bit of a check-in. Can you believe this is our third session? So a huge welcome to your dream life embodied. I would love to know, how are you feeling? Are you feeling aligned? Are you feeling excited? What's been happening in your world? Welcome, Laura. Welcome. We're just doing a little pulse check as everyone is finding their way to our room. Thank you so much for being with us, whether you've been joining us live or on the replay. Today, we're bringing this all together. Let's take that big dream you put on the shelf off. Let's get it down. Let's turn it into your reality. Welcome everyone who's just joining us. So we know that we don't get what we desire. You get what you are an energetic match for. So this is why this embodiment piece is so key. So today we're going to be diving into your dream life embodied. I'll be sharing some concepts, a little bit about my story. We have a beautiful video from Brigitte who has shared that with us. We'll be sharing that as well. And then we'll be doing some helixing as well. And of course, I have some more prizes to give away. Who's going to manifest the prize today? So the prize is healing space-time in the Akashic Records. And to enter, all you need to do is to be on the call at the end with me and to share your takeaway. And then we'll do a draw from everyone who has shared their takeaways. And then after today, we've got a little bit of integration time. So there's time to catch up with the replays. If you want to revisit anything, reach out, ask questions. And we're going to be coming back together for the big draw on Tuesday, July the 15th at 11 a.m. British Summer Time. We'll be doing some vision casting, future self-progression, and I'll be sharing about the different ways that we can work together so you can continue the momentum that we've created during our time together. And of course, you can ask me any questions so that you can make an aligned decision either way. How does this sound? Alrighty. Welcome, everybody. Let's take a moment to just bring our energy and our attention back to this present moment so you can really drop into the present moment. So just inviting you to give yourself a nice couple of deep breaths in and out. Calling your energy back from people, places, timeline, spaces. And just to take a moment to connect with your intention, the desire that you created, nurtured, cultivated in our first session. Your intention for being here on your journey of creating that reality, becoming the energetic match for it. How do you want to feel at the end of our time together? Just allow yourself to connect with that intention now. And on a scale of 1 to 10, just to take a pulse check to see how aligned are you feeling now to your intentions on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all, 10 being it's already done. What's your awareness illuminating for you now? And just let me know in the chat what is coming through for you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how aligned are you feeling right now? A huge welcome to those of you just joining us. We got an 8. Awesome. Anyone else at an 8? Lower, higher? Zoom user, I don't know what your name is. You're at a number 7. Thank you. What else have we got? 7, Joseph is a 7. Okay, awesome. Anna's a 7. Alrighty. So we know that there is a gap in our awareness between being the full energetic match for what we desire. And to be able to feel really embodied, this is about holding the frequency, creating the frequency, sustaining the frequency so that we can grow with more ease. And everything that I'm sharing has come from my own journey. And there are some key moments along my journey that I wanted to share with you that really have influenced how I teach and lead today. So for those of you that, just to give you a snapshot, my background is in psychology. I have a psychology degree, a counseling postgraduate diploma, part 1 of an MBA. I'm a certified coach. And I mentioned at the beginning of our time together on Monday, I was trying to think what day of the week it was then, that my background was that I was in social services for 13 years, and I was leading and developing multi-million-pound services for social services. And whilst I was there, I was also a leader in their coaching and mentoring program to help improve performance and develop leaders to lead high-performing teams. And what that ultimately meant was I was working very hard. I loved the jobs. I loved all of the different jobs that I had while I was in social services, but they were very stressful jobs. Just to give you a flavor, if I wasn't leading on managing change programs across 200 staff, so read that as making potentially 45 people redundant and changing their working hours. Q, absolute drama, toxicity within the team dynamics. As you can imagine, leading that scale of change doesn't make you a popular person. It's a very difficult thing for anybody who's been through being at risk of redundancy knows it's very, very tough. And myself and the other heads of departments would reflect on the projections and the transference that we would be receiving by our team members when their nervous systems were triggered. You could really see someone's family dynamics playing out in the workplace. I don't know if you've recognized that when you've had challenging situations going on, if you were working in corporate at any moment in time. But there's so much projection and transference onto you as the manager, and the people, of course, are aware that they are doing it. So we had all the team dynamics going on, and then my role in the last 4 years I was there was developing services for those affected by domestic abuse, sexual abuse, drug and alcohol, homelessness, preventing radicalization, trafficking. And then prior to that, I've been focusing on leading all their business planning and then managing dementia care units, mental health units for people who've been sectioned, and home care for the elderly. So that was where our intention was to stop people getting into hospital, helping them to get out of hospital more quickly. And during that time, I was, developing and commissioning these services. And as I mentioned, it was about 8 years, I was leading on their business planning and their quality assurance and leading on equity and diversity. So all the good stuff to make sure businesses are delivering excellence and are profitable and accountable to the standards that they set for themselves. And I loved it. I have to say, I absolutely loved it. That's why I stayed there for 13 years. I knew I was making a difference. I was very good at my job. I loved innovating. I loved making change, improving services, leading, coaching, and empowering colleagues in my team to develop and lead. And yet it was very stressful. And I also recognized, and I would have used this word at the beginning of whilst I was there. So I would have said, I'm quite sensitive. I'm a sensitive person. And I really noticed this when I was leading community safety. I would feel things in meetings. And at that time, I didn't have the language that I have for it now. Now I would say and know that I was psychically picking up what was happening to the clients who are using our services. So I could be sitting on the child safeguarding board or the adult safeguarding board or domestic homicide board. And we'd have these reports and I was just picking everything up in my field and feeling all the stuff. And I was like, what is going on? Everybody else seemed to be really normal. They're having compassion for what's happening, but they weren't picking things up and feeling things. I don't know if that makes sense. But I started to realize, not everyone else was like me, and that as I was leading these meetings, obviously it was very difficult at times where I'm feeling all this stuff and then I'm leading the meetings and making sure everyone's contributing and we're going to get the outcome of the intention of the meeting so that we can take things forwards to protect people. And I was like, I don't know if I can, continue doing this because I'm picking this up. It's staying in my field. At that point, I didn't know how to erase it from my field. And that coincided with, at the same time, I've been contemplating for a while, like, how can I have more out of life? There's got to be more to this, because I was literally working and living to pay the bills. There wasn't enough money at the end of each month. There wasn't enough hours for actually having a life outside of work and doing all the domestic tasks. I felt like I was barely seeing my sons. And I just felt like it was, you know, it was ridiculous. All I wanted to do was to have more family time with them and to provide them with a good, you know, good lifestyle so that they could flourish and thrive. And I think for me, seeing my father being ill health retired and missing out so much on life because he was working so hard to maintain the lifestyle that he desired for his family. We never saw him because he was working. And it suddenly dawned on me, I was like, oh my God, I'm repeating this pattern of what I thought success was like. You know, I was just busy working all the time. And that just sucks. I don't know if anyone else has kind of found themselves in that situation, like, what am I doing? I am busy working all the time. And so I started to live in the energy of the question, I want my own business, but what can it be? You know, I actually did have no clue. So I wasn't attached to what it was. I've been helping my brother with his music publishing business. He's a composer, an amazing composer. Angus Havers, check him out. Little side shout out for him. And I've been helping him with all the contracts side of things for him. And then, so I knew I wanted my own business. I had no clue what it was going to be. And then in came Arbor, which is a network marketing business. And I started to run that alongside my work. So basically, I was able to give myself a pay rise without having to start to commute to London, because that was off the table, you know, because that would have been even less time with Alpha Mo. My whole master plan was to have more money and to have more time with my sons. But it felt like it was going in the opposite direction. I was like, what is going on? Feels like I've set, you know, the intention to go over here, and I just feel like I'm going backwards in completely the wrong direction. And what it was, there were so many energy reversals going on. And so I talk about energy reversals. We dive into this in more depth in Dream Bigger, but they are essentially when you've had an experience that has created you've had a trauma. It's left an energetic imprint on your field, and that has created the energy in relation to that topic, subject, aspect to go in the opposite direction. So what that meant was I was trying to create this new reality, all with the same thinking, all without having healed the hidden trauma, without having changed my consciousness. So it was just more hard work, basically. Anyway, I pushed through, and after about a year, I got to the point where I could reduce my hours at work and start to think about what I really wanted to do and how I could leave. And it all started to come together quickly and move rapidly. And the universe gave me a big dose of shingles and chronic fatigue just to make sure I really got the message. And that meant that I slept for about 4 months. I was on sick leave for about 6 months. It did make me wake up and go, I am making this change much more quickly now than I'd been sort of taking action on it and had this nice plan, but was going at a, you know, not a quick enough pace for the universe. So after that, you know, I made the decision, right, I am leaving, we're doing this. And one of the other key turning points was pretty quickly after I had got well and then was back doing holistic events in the evenings to support the network marketing business. And I will never forget this evening. I was running a holistic event with one of my colleagues, Kate. And we were doing presentations on, you know, health and wellness. We were raising money for a friend of hers who had cancer. And there were all these other therapists there. And there was this pranic healer there called Tina, lovely lady. And she was giving like 10-minute pranic healing sessions. And my friend Kate kept going, Lou, you'll love it. Go and check it out. But we were busy kind of doing our thing, facilitating. It wasn't until the end of the evening that I was like, I've got to go and ask her what she's doing and have a taster experience. Because to me, it just looked like she was waving her hands in the air. Couldn't really see what was going on. And people going, oh my God, that was amazing. I was like, what is going on? And so I went over and asked if I could have a taster session. And bless her heart, it was about 11 o'clock at night at this time. She's like, yeah, sure. And so she sat me down, and then she stood about 2 or 3 meters away from me. And she said, just close your eyes and relax, and I'll give you like a stress healing one. So my experience of it was my eyes are closed, I'm feeling nice and relaxed. She walked over to me and she started working on my left-hand side because I could feel her doing things here, like literally just here. So when she said she'd finished, I opened my eyes and she was back over the other side of the room. And I said to her, she said to me, how was that? And I said, oh, I feel really nice and relaxed. I did feel it when you came over and you started, you know, working on my shoulder, what was happening. She said, I didn't move. And I was like, sorry, what do you mean you didn't move? And she was like, I didn't move. And I was like, but I felt you here. And she said, yeah, you had a hole in your aura. I was fixing it for you. And I was like, but I felt you touch me here. Like it was literally just like on there that I could feel her touching me. And she's like, yeah, but I didn't move. And I was like, oh my God. And everything just slotted into place. I was like, oh my God, I feel energy. And so from that experience, I went and trained in everything to do with pranic healing. So I went straight away, trained in everything, because I was like, oh, now I have language for what's going on. And I really want to be able to develop this and to know more about this and to be with like-minded people. And so with my background in psychology, I was like, after I was doing all the training, I was like, oh, but if you blend it like this, we can do this faster. So I was immediately starting to work in a different way, bringing together all my different trainings. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a student, you know, a lifelong student. I love learning. I'm always learning. I continue to learn and study. There's just always so much more that we can learn, I believe. And at that time, I was also training in another energy alignment modality where I was using the sway technique, which is from applied kinesiology. It's a muscle testing technique. I teach how to use it properly in Dream Bigger because so many people don't use it correctly. They think they are, but there is a specific way that I teach it to make sure you have accuracy in your readings. And anyway, I was learning how to really master using the sway technique, and I was blending the way that I was doing it. And what started to happen was the more energy healing I was doing, I realized that I was starting to write letters when I was swaying. So instead of just getting a yes, no response that you typically get when you're doing muscle testing, and with the sway technique, forward sway is a yes, backward sway is a no. Yours truly here was playing spiritual hangman and writing all sorts of letters with the sway, and I looked like I was about to take off. It's the most extraordinary thing. It looks very, very strange. And I was like, what is going on with this? And when I realized what was happening in relation to that, I was like, okay, I really need to understand more in relation to this. And I was shown that I needed to know more about the Akashic records, and I was living in the energy of the question, show me my person to teach me the Akashic records. And within a few days, they popped into the mastermind that I was in. I read their first post and I was like, there she is. That's who I'm supposed to be learning and teaching. And I've now been teaching and certifying clients in the Akashic records for over 6 years now. And of course, along the way, I was, evolving how I was working with clients, blending the energetics of the psychology and the Akashics. New protocols were evolving through the work I was doing privately with my one-to-one clients, being downloaded from the Akashic records, also being brought forward in working in new ways because of my expertise and experience. And then I have used this with groups in my group coaching programs, and then now also taught in our certification programs as well. And it was back in, I think it was in 2020, through the Akashic records, that I was shown that my next level of purpose was to teach and train others in what I do. And I believe that, our businesses always have a new evolution of purpose coming through. Often when there's a plateau, it can be actually that there's a next level of purpose that's meant to be coming through, and we're blocking it because we're sort of holding on to what we think it should be. That old identity, that current identity is holding on to the current way of doing business. And the business is going, excuse me, actually, we're meant to be doing something else now. And it was literally the night after I discussed with my coach when I was going to launch the Helix Method that I woke up to an email from one of my clients saying, I don't know if you do this, but could you teach me, do you have a certification program? Could you teach me on, to do what you do? And I was like, oh, well, there we go. I literally set the date last night. Don't you just love it when you get synchronicities like that? It's like, oh, universe, you're just surprising and delighting me here. This is just wonderful. And since then, we've trained 33 mentors to date in our methodology, which has just been amazing. And as I look back to all the different past versions of myself, I'm so, so grateful. I'm sure you can feel the same for the different versions of you that have helped you get to where you are today. The past version of me who had the courage to leave social services, the past version of me who pulled together everything that they had experienced and in the way that they were working to download and really understand and embody the 6 principles of higher self leadership. And I'm now living my dream life. And I'm a digital nomad. And I'm living in Thailand currently. And my eldest son is literally just up the road, which is very exciting. He's got his shop up the road, up the beach, I should say. It's literally on the beach. I'm here for 6 months, and then I'm going to be heading to Portugal for 3 months, and then the UK for 3 months. And then I'm likely to be coming back. So shout out for my clients in America to the USA again in 2026. So for those of you that didn't get to meet up, hopefully we can do it in 2026. So that's the current plan. And we've reconfigured our business to streamline it and keep it light. And for me, something that has really struck me this year is one of my best friends of 33 years died in May after a long period of inflammation in his body, of cancer. He had had some very complex, difficult years preceding that. And his illness, he would have said, helped him return to himself as well. He would always say, we only have each other and this now moment. And that has really stayed with me since his passing, because he passed at 50, which is way too soon. And I know that we all know people that, you know, have gone too young. And for me, every day is a gift. Every day is a blessing. And our souls came down onto this planet to live and fulfill their mission and purpose. And our human programming thinks that the dream is this big. But actually, there's so much more beyond what our current consciousness can fathom. And that's why I invite you all to take that big dream off the shelf and to seize the day. Let's create that reality. Everybody deserves to have, you know, to live their dream life. And of course, as I was thinking about it today, I was like, I'm living my dream reality. I was like, I need a new dream. I actually need to expand my dream. I need to dream bigger, so that I carry on growing and evolving. Does that resonate for anyone? Anyone else recognizing that actually you're now living that dream, or you're close to living that dream, and there's a new level that's being asked to come through, one that you perhaps couldn't see before? Got some nods there. So we've been exploring what it's like to embody our dream life, for it to actually feel normal. I know this sounds bizarre, but it does feel very normal that, oh, I'm in Thailand for 6 months and that's just what I do. You know, I live here in the most magical place. Very, very normal now because it's embodied. But we need to embody this for us to be able to be an energetic match for it to come into our field. And so we talked about the 6 principles for higher self leadership. That is how we are able to more quickly become an energetic match to what we desire. And we dived into those on Monday, and we built on those on Tuesday in relation to the universal laws. And I wanted just to touch on, like, what gets in the way. What is it that gets in the way? And let me just share my screen. Give me a second so you can see. Where are you all? There you all are. So that we can put it into context. And I really invite you to consider, okay, what are the ones that are jumping up for me right now? If we think of that continuum. So we know that we want to be in multidimensional alignment for our higher self to lead. What it looks like when this isn't happening is, I call this the resonance rift. So this is that inner misalignment between your higher self desires and what your subconscious believes is safe or possible. When your 3 levels of consciousness, your higher self, your subconscious, and your conscious mind, are out of sync, so that's the resonance rift. Think of this as you're sending a scrambled signal to the universe. That's why you can feel so clear one moment and then completely block the next. Does that make sense? And inside Dreambringer, we're training your system to shift from that disjointed manifestation where you feel like you're having to do a bit too much efforting into that multidimensional coherence. Keep these comments coming through. I do read them all. And where these things are not showing up, so Christina's saying kind of have some fear coming up. Oh, it's just moved. Can't hold on to the big dream. So see what resonates here. Every time I'm trying to bring it, it's really hard to hold it. Okay. So just pay attention to what I'm talking about here, about what's in the way. So then we have the somatic default set points. Your body holds a default setting for how much love, how much success, how much health, how much wealth it believes is safe to receive. So think of these limits. They're wired into your nervous system, into your identity, and they silently pull you back to the old realities, no matter how much you want to expand, until you shift your set point. Then that more is going to feel unsafe or unavailable. So anytime we are wanting to create the future self-consciousness, we need to expand our default set points in line with that so that we can hold it. So for Stina, I'd invite you to contemplate around your somatic default set points. And we dive into this, you'll see in Dream Bigger, and I can send you a message in Dream Bigger of what to focus on there for you. Does that resonate? Anyone else recognizing about the somatic default set points? It's making me think of our client, Laura, who came into our world. She was feeling stuck in the overcycle of overgiving and under receiving. And she'd done, lots of mindset work before. Nothing had shifted her relationship with money. And it was through our work together, she began to clear inherited patterns of scarcity, allowing herself to receive not just more money and allowing it to come in a different way, but allowing in more support and allowing the manifestation to come through her relationship with her husband as well. They manifested a new dream home. Her husband got a pay rise, an unexpected pay rise. She was like, this is incredible. It's all coming through my husband. But she knew that because they had shared relationships and she was doing the work, it was impacting their shared goals. And they as a family got manifested their new dream home, and he got a surprise pay rise. So Laura's story is a great example of that multidimensional alignment and allowing yourself to not be attached to how the breakthrough comes in. And healing your relationship with money isn't just about the money, it's about expanding your capacity to receive on every level. Receiving more support, receiving more responsibility, receiving more commitment, more expectations. We need to be able to hold it all, not just the more money, but hold it all. Does that make sense? So we know we need to create the future self-consciousness because we create our reality from our current identity. So our current identity is operating, running the show. If it's still rooted in those past patterns, it's going to unconsciously reinforce the same results, even if we've consciously outgrown them. So deliberately curating your future self-consciousness so that it is the cause of your new results and not an echo of your past. This is where you get to embody your next reality, and the results are inevitable. When I think of one of our clients, Ilonka, she joined us in the Wealth Portal, and she was sitting on a powerful business idea, but it didn't come through until she had cleared the wounds and the healing around her current identity. And then when she was able to start to really listen and allow her higher self to lead, and she let go of the hustle energy, and then this idea came through and she was like, oh my word, this is in complete alignment with my income goal. This is the new business. That the evolution of her business was shown to her. And then she was able to step into that new role in an aligned way. So as I share that, just inviting you to contemplate, and do you know, are you sitting on the evolution of your business's purpose? Are you, as you're sitting here thinking, yeah, there's been something that I've been blocking, and I've been telling myself it's not important, or I'll do it later, whatever it might be, let me know in the chats if that resonates for you. Is there a new evolution being invited to move through you? Then we have the block of our nervous system's capacity. I call this the nervous system pinnacle. So this is why, to be able to move beyond that block is the nervous system regulation. So every one of us has a threshold, to think of that as the pinnacle that defines how much you will allow yourself to receive before the nervous system is triggered. And one of the things our clients reflect is the peace that they feel in their nervous system as they move forward and are calibrating to becoming an energetic match to their goal. And I think that's one of the biggest gifts, is to have that peace within, that presence within, to not feel in a rush anymore, to feel like you can relax in where you are now. Does that make sense? And then we have energetic buffering. So this is when your field, your energy field, is buffering, like, you know how with the Wi-Fi, when the Wi-Fi signal is a bit wonky and we get that buffering signal because it's not quite sending the message. This is what's going on when our energy field is filled with resistant energy that's all attached to a protecting core fears as part of our identity. Reversed energy, which comes from trauma and shock when we don't have a coping mechanism. All of that is creating this energetic drag in our field, distorting the signal. I teach you how to pinpoint energy reversals in Dream Bigger, and you get direct access to me as you uncover these things, so I can guide you through. And this last one, just to speak to this, and again, would love to know if this one resonates for anyone, where you're using strategy. So I call this strategic dissonance. So this is the opposite of the aligned action, where you're implementing a strategy that mismatches your current business, how established your business is. You might be forcing a 7-figure tactic on a 6-figure foundation, or avoiding action because it's not feeling aligned. And this is where we want your energetic mastery to be a strategy for your cash flow, to be the strategy for you to take that dream off the shelf and to live that reality, to create that reality. So we'd love to know in the chat, which of these ones is feeling like it's in the way? And if that block was finally dissolved, what would instantly shift in your business? Let me know in the comments. Jacqueline saying, absolutely. Resistance to contact your clients and those who've shown interest. Yes, so that resistance is just protecting a core fear that's part of your current identity. So we need to change your identity so that you're the kind of person that just reaches out to see if people are interested in having the results that you can help them with. And remembering, I was saying, expect the sale, but not where it comes from. So you can be completely detached. You can honor people's own timelines and just be there to lead and serve. Let's see what else. Okay, so we've got somatic default set points, strategic dissonance. Honestly, feel each of these is playing a part. Yes, you're seeing the same here. Yes, they will be. Absolutely. Set points, buffering. Okay, so we've got some clarity here. This is awesome. Jolene saying these are all very relevant, recognizing the set points and the resonance rift. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Here's something to bear in mind as well. Anyone here in that space where you're telling yourself you are doing everything and nothing's working? And the thing is, when we're fixating on an outcome without being detached, we actually collapse our energy around it. And in this situation, what I invite you to do is we need to create a bigger context so that our energy is not collapsed in. So for example, so this is where the resistance to the goal itself can kick in because we're not in alignment with the future self-identity. So how we start to move past this, if you're saying you want to lose 10 pounds, And then you start to obsess on the, about the food and the scales and what's not working, what's working, and how far you got to go, and all the things that you can immediately feel that contraction, can't you? And energetic, you're pushing the goal further away. You're telling yourself you're wrong if you've, had a cheat day or whatever it may be. The same would be if you're in that space of like, I want more clients, and then you're overworking and you're hustling and you're checking the numbers daily and nothing feels like it's moving. And then of course you're burning out again, because we've gone into that. We've gone into an energy reversal. And so often what can be behind that is a proof of worth. Like, if I achieve this, then I'm good enough. It's actually creating this energetic pressure that if it doesn't happen, then actually there's something wrong. So the subconscious starts to resist the goal, to avoid the failure, the fear of failure, or the fear of being seen, being shamed, being judged. Whereas if we expand the context around our intention, this is how we embody that dream life. So instead of, if we go back to that weight loss one, so how do I lose 10 pounds? If we create a bigger context around that, you're going to see how it feels immediately, energetically opens you up. So the bigger context could be, how do I live as someone who truly honors their body? Is a bigger context than how do I lose 10 pounds? The 10-pound weight loss will be a byproduct of being the kind of person who deeply honors their body. Does that make sense? How can we have a bigger context of how do I get more clients? Would be, how do I express my work in ways that expand my energy and serve deeply? Like, if that's our focus, it's a bigger focus. So our energy's expanded. We've opened up our field. Does that make sense? What comes through as I share that, and as you think about the areas that are feeling sticky and a challenge, is what could be your bigger context? What can you focus on? And the story that you tell yourself about it that is then going to guarantee the other thing that you want. We know what is resonating. Let's see what we got here. Absolutely. And can you see, so with that question, but what if your survival depends on getting those clients? And can you see how it feels so contracted? But what if you can go, do you know what? I'm going to lead with love. I'm going to lead with service. I'm going to expect the sale, but not where it comes from. And this is that piece, as we've been building on this week. I trust my higher self. I let my higher self lead, really being able to open this up. Does that make sense? Because the moment we go into that survival, we go into that contraction, then our energy field isn't as opulent. We're energetically buffering. It's going to make everything just harder and harder and harder. So instead of I need more clients now because my survival depends on it, what about the bigger context being I'm creating a body of work that is transforming lives and energizes me deeply? How does that sound? So let your goal, let your intention become part of your context, your overall purpose and evolution for your business. Let's focus on becoming the version of you who's always creating connection, always creating transformation, always creating value, and holding that frequency. That will start to draw clients in without the efforting. Awesome. So glad this is landing. And what's key is part of this, and what we're doing, what we're up to with the Helix method, is collapsing timelines. Who would love to master collapsing timelines? And I invite you to let me know in the comments. Give me a yes if you'd love to collapse collapse timelines. We've got some yeses coming in. Okay, awesome. So invite you to think of future timelines. We've got lots of yeses going through. As paths that you're currently on. So we always have an infinite number of future timelines within our potential, ranging across a vibrational scale. So we have the timelines that are on a lower vibration, ego-led, conscious mind-led, default timelines, subconscious pattern timelines, in line with our current fear, energy reversals, current identity. And we've got the higher timelines that are in alignment with our soul purpose, our higher self. And the thing that has the biggest effect on which one we're defaulting to is what, of course, is what we're holding in our human Wi-Fi. And everything that we're holding in our human Wi-Fi includes all the old timelines, which include all the experiences, the previous traumas, the memories, the beliefs, the emotions, our ancestral patterns, timelines, all the things that are making up our identity across all the different roles that we play. And think of these as energetic cords that are holding us back and locking us into a default timeline moving forward. Think of this as we're energetically tethered to our unresolved past with these unhealed timelines. And that has a direct impact on this now moment and future now moments. Does that make sense? So in any given moment, you're manifesting from one present to the next present, and you have an infinite number of timelines available to you. And a whole array of infinite number of possible timelines that we could move to with every decision and action. So we've got a huge range of vibrational frequencies and timelines available to us. This is resonating. So as we clear and heal the past trauma, those timelines behind us, and we release all that energy that's tied up with that and all the programming, we start to raise our frequency, we move on to higher timelines that are more in alignment with your soul purpose, with that big dream that you can't yet see, in alignment with your highest timeline. That's what we want to be creating for and to. So I invite you just to kind of bring this to your awareness, just to take a moment to close your eyes. And imagine you are facing forward in your life with an entire array of possible timelines that are available to you. Notice what you see in the path in front of you, which area perhaps feels lighter, which area perhaps feels denser. And the reason that you're not automatically defaulting to your highest timeline is because of the past timelines that are pulling you back through memory, through trauma, through energetic beliefs, thoughts, subconscious programming. And they're they're like bungee cords, pulling us back, making it harder as we're walking forward into choosing that highest timeline. So just make a note for now, where is feeling lighter, where is feeling darker. And the beauty is, as we do this deep inner healing work, and we clear the hidden trauma that's creating that energy buffering, impacting our nervous system so that we are dysregulated while we're trying to run our business. It has a direct impact on our fulfillment, our joy in business and sales, the opportunities that are coming in. This is so key. Anywhere that we know we're holding on to past financial traumas, whether it's bankruptcy or business decisions that perhaps haven't panned out as we thought, or we feel like we're in a holding patterns, we're never quite accomplishing our goals, then we're living out an old timeline in the current moment. And then, of course, it's impacting the decisions that we're making, because we then continue to be creating from this current identity, this old timeline. So I invite you to contemplate, and a great way to think of this and to see how these transgenerational patterns are influencing your now moment. Transgenerational in the sense of what's been going on in your family, but also what's been happening on the collective level. So we've got numerous timelines happening. And the best example to think about is something that all our families will have been affected by is World War II. So from 1939 to 1945, all our family members somewhere along in the world would have had different experiences of this, but would have had an experience of World War II. And if we think about what was happening for our family members then, many people were dealing with grief, loss of loved ones, loss of life, loss of jobs, lots of loss, huge amount of grief and poverty, a lot of lack. And then, of course, you've got what's going on in the media, and all of this is playing out in the hearts and minds of people, becoming an ongoing part of their reality. And if I think about how that old timeline has impacted my life now, think of my mum, who was born in 1943. And when she was born, her dad was away at war, and he was a naval officer, a captain, and he'd been a big part of the war. And she didn't actually meet her dad until she was 3. And then she grew up in a family where there was scarcity and lack was just a part of their day-to-day living. And then 30 years later, she became a parent with me. And there's a whole load of behaviors that come from those post-war years. Anyone else have a mum where they save everything? My mum's elastic bands are like gold. Milk cartons, darning socks, gluing broken dishes together, saving parts that might be useful, even if you haven't used them for 15 years, because one day you might need them. And if you didn't need it, someone else might. Not worrying about food going out of date. Anyone else, mum, does that? So we can see how then that timeline's coming in, impacting my upbringing, my consciousness. How has your parents, that timeline coming down, impacted you, and how is it then showing up in your business or other areas of life? Then if I think about my dad was born in 1931. Now he was sent away on a train to the countryside when they did the whole evacuating all the kids out of London. So he went off with a little brown label on his jacket, got sent off to somewhere. His mum and his brother eventually joined him. And his dad, my granddad, was working on the London Underground. He stayed behind. And they actually eventually split up. And my granny raised her 2 sons as a single parent, and they hardly saw their dad. They didn't really have a relationship with him to speak of. Now, guess what? I'm a single mum. I've raised 2 boys without them having a relationship with their father. My cousin, who's the eldest, has sadly passed away now. So my uncle's eldest daughter raised 2 sons. They don't have a relationship with their dad. So I can see these patterns coming down. And the gift is that we get to change this. Does that make sense? Anyone else kind of recognize patterns coming through your family line as well? These old timelines impacting your current moment in life. So we've got a lot going on in our energy field. And the beauty is that we get to change this by doing this deep dive work. This is why I love teaching around muscle testing, so you can understand and find out what's truly going on, rather than listening to the narrative in your head. So that we can get you onto that highest timeline to create the dream life that you desire to dream. Yes, patterns recreate. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. Alrighty. So what's landed for you with that as you're contemplating what's in the way, where the stickiness is, so that we've got that awareness. And then in a moment, we're going to start to helix, building on what we have created so far this week. Lots more to explore. Okay. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, this is awesome. Alrighty. Let's take a moment to get ready to do our Helix Method energetic success habit. This is so good to see what is coming through for everybody. Alrighty, okay, so we're going to switch things up a bit. We're going to do some energetic helixing. Then I'm going to share with you Bridget's video. Then we'll do some takeaways, and then we will do the draw, and we will wrap up. Ready? Okay. Keep these comments coming in. This is so awesome. Alrighty, so let's take a moment. Where is my slides for you? Here we go. Are you ready to expand and elevate your frequency? Let's start to collapse those timelines by creating new thoughts that are going to start to be imprinted, creating more coherence in your field so that you can become an energetic match to what you desire. Alrighty, so we're going to start to do your higher self invocation. Oh, yes. Fantastic. So inviting you now just to increase your life force energy, bringing your awareness to your soul star chakra, which is about 18 inches above your head. And to start to increase your life force energy by breathing in for 4, holding for 4, and breathing out for 8. And I invite you just to do that 3 times at your own pace. Notice how your energy field is getting bigger and brighter, bigger and brighter, bigger and brighter. And from this place, speaking to all levels of my consciousness, I intend that in the name of divine truth, love and light, let all information come from my higher self and be in alignment with my divine truth for my highest good and the highest good of all. I am creating a clear channel of communication and manifestation between my subconscious, conscious, and higher self, so that they are 100% connected and in perfect alignment and all working towards my highest path and purpose. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From this place, we're going to start to imprint as we're creating the consciousness of your future self. 5 ideas that are going to become beliefs. We're going to be repeating them internally for 30 seconds. And then we'll do a minute of the out loud rewiring where you're saying it out loud. So we're building on what we've done on Monday and Tuesday together. So this one we're doing, I trust my higher self. I let my higher self lead. I am expanding my capacity to hold more. I am a great receiver. I'm the kind of person who has, and then insert where it says desired income cash months, insert the number that you're calling in. 10K cash months, 30K cash months, 100K cash months, whatever your amount is. Make sense? And just before we start to dive in, and I will give you a heads up on the timings to keep the flow flowing. Just inviting you to connect with an image in your mind's eye of what this is going to look like in your reality. So I trust my higher self to lead. How do you know that you actually do trust your higher self to lead? What would that look like? Just bring an image into your mind's eye. I let my higher self lead. So perhaps you see in your mind's eye yourself following through on some intuition and being surprised and delighted by what the universe brings forward for you. I'm expanding my capacity to hold more. Perhaps you're seeing in your mind's eye your bank account going up. I am a great receiver. Perhaps you're receiving a beautiful gift and you're so excited to receive it. Just giving you some ideas of what this would look, so you can see what it would look like in your life. I'm the kind of person who has your desired cash months. Maybe perhaps you see your Stripe account or your PayPal account or whatever it might be. So you get the idea. Alrighty, so we're going to put some music on. Da, da, da. And we're going to do 30 seconds of the 5 beliefs. We're going to start to imprint those. Alrighty, so let's get your heart into a coherent state by breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Start to fill your heart up with love. I love, I love, I love, I love. And in this place, inviting you to start to think, I trust my higher self. I trust my higher self. Beautiful. Moving on to the next one. I let my higher self lead. I let my higher self lead. Moving on to the third one. I am expanding my capacity to hold more. I am a good receiver. Moving on to the 5th one. I'm the kind of person who has desired cash months. I'm the kind of person who has desired cash months. Now, inviting you now to do the out loud rewiring for 1 minute. I'm the kind of person who is surrounded by love and abundance, who is motivated, joyful, and in flow. And from this one, inviting the look and the energy of the question, how am I surrounded by love and abundance? How am I surrounded by love and abundance? Allow yourself to just ask this question. Remember, we're just asking it from a place as if it's already happened. One of curiosity and awe, I'm not trying to consciously answer it. It's a question you're giving to the universe. And just to notice what shows up. How am I surrounded by love and abundance? And I invite you to take one new idea that you receive, and you may receive it in this now moment or in the coming hours, and to implement it. Let that wisdom coming from your higher self lead the way. And as part of your aligned action, can you reach out to 5 people today? Lead with love. See if someone is wanting to work with you. How can you help them? Perhaps they need you to refer them to someone that you know. Let me know in the comments if you've been reaching out to 5 people each day. If you're in business, then likely you're doing this already. If you're not doing this already and you're in business, then here's a clue. Do this. And if you don't know what to ask me. You know, I can give you some ideas of what to say, give me a scenario, pop it in the chat, or put it in the Facebook group, and I'm here to support you. Alrighty. Let me know in the comments how you are feeling. I'm going to do the draw for the takeaway shortly. Before we do, I just want to take a moment, as Bridget has kindly prepared this video for us. So I just wanted to shine the spotlight on Bridget, who is in our Dream Bigger membership. So she's just created this little video for you to share her story. So I hope that this inspires you. See if we can get this working. There we go.
Hi there, my name is Bridget Rawlings, and before working with Louisa, I was in this position where I felt a little stuck in my business because after being a massage therapist for 25 years, I was shifting my business to more coaching, somatic coaching, and I was not able to reach a certain level in my coaching business. I was still holding on to the massage practice, even though I really wanted to do more coaching and to get out of massage. But there was some sort of stuckness around me being seen as a somatic coach. And I wasn't quite sure what that was, but when I heard Louisa speaking on a summit, something really triggered me to want to work with her. It was the energy that she was talking about and the energetic blocks, and I started working with her initially with I think it was like a 9-day energetic edge free webinar. And I really made some great shifts, even just from that webinar. And I wanted to explore more how I could work with her. And what made me really say yes was I just felt this connection with her, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. And what I found most helpful was that even working with her for the 9 days, I just felt shifts in after each session. I was able to, I believe the first few days, there was an intention, what we wanted to do, and I forget exactly what it was, but I was able to get out of that state of, I can't do something. It was a slow period in my massage practice, which generally is not the case. And I believe we were asked to set an intention. What do we want to create over the next week or 30 days? I'm not quite sure what it was, but it really allowed me to open up to see that I could not only bring in money from my massage business, but explore other opportunities. And I was able to reach out to, I think it was 14 massage clients, just to give them an offer and to let them know that I had space in my massage schedule, which I would do sometimes. But this particular time, it felt different. I reached out to people, and 7 people scheduled services over the next week or two. And 1 person bought a massage package, which brought in the income that I was asking for, that I intended for the next week. So that was just a shift with me having a different mindset around not being in that state of, oh, I can't do something, but it allowed me to see something else is possible. And just doing the helixing process kind of shifted things for me. So that was the first thing that was really great while working with Louisa. And in addition to that, what was really the game changer for me was, number 1, noticing immediate results, and also identifying that the identity that I had around being a somatic coach, it was not what I was envisioning. I wasn't really in that space to shift from massage to a somatic coach. I didn't see myself as a somatic coach. So having that awareness that my identity wasn't quite in alignment was definitely a game changer, as well as that default set point financially. I have been successful in my massage business. I've made great money. And when things shifted a little bit, I kind of felt stuck. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And even adding more coaching in and reaching out to more people about coaching, I was kind of stuck in that place. Although I've been working on it for a while and I've seen some changes, but knowing that financial default set point was a game changer, because I was not able to get above a certain level of income. So after doing the helixing and clearing those energetic blocks, it really helped me change the set point. So not only did I bring in more income during the 9 days, I started working with Louisa in the Dream Bigger space, her membership, and I was just doing the what I was calling in for the week. I think it was $5,000 I was calling in for the week, and the next day I got $2,000. And then over the next 7 days or 6 days, I got an additional $2,300. And I didn't meet the $5,000 goal that I had for that week, but it gave me the confidence that I can do this. This is so simple and easy, because I was doing the helixing daily, and that really helped me get into the energy and call in what it is that I wanted. And I just feel like it's been such a game changer for me. And knowing my identity as a massage therapist and my new identity as a somatic coach, it really feels in alignment now. And I don't feel like I'm stuck, like there is some block there. And I would love to give advice to other people who may be feeling like they're stuck in a situation, or energetically they don't feel aligned, to make the decision that what feels right for you. If this feels like it's a yes for you, a full body yes, even though you don't know how you're going to do it, maybe you don't know where you're going to get the money from, maybe you've never done it before. If it feels like a full body yes, because your body will always tell you your yes or your no, I would say go ahead, try it out, see how you like it, and just encourage you to open up your mind to see things differently, because I was able to see things differently. Energetically, I feel better. And not only in my business, but just interacting with people, I feel like an energetic shift. So that's what I wanted to share. And I hope that you guys have a great time working with Louisa. I definitely recommend her. And maybe I'll see you around in her membership.
Oh, thank you so much, Brigitte. Thank you so much. Please shower lots of love. And thanks to Brigitte for creating that video to share with you. I hope her story has inspired you. We always learn, I think, so much from people sharing their stories as well. So thank you, Brigitte, for sharing that. Oh, we love all these love hearts. This is awesome. So exciting to see them. Fantastic. So for those of you that are feeling called to dream bigger, we would love to have you with us. I'll get the team to pop the link in the chat for you. It is currently only $57 a month, or you can buy, buy a year, and then you save 2 months when you buy the membership for a year. The investment will be going up to $88 a month. So when you join us now, you lock in that rate. So just to give you a heads up on that. And if you've got any questions about Dream Bigger, do just shoot me a message, or you can email us at clientcare@louisahavers.com. And of course, we do have other ways that you can work together. We've got our wealth portal, which is our signature wealth consciousness program. I'm going to talk more about that on Tuesday in the Shop With Me section, where we'll be doing a future self progression in the Akashic Records. Yes. And I'll also be giving you the overview of the number of different ways that we can work together. So the team are going to pop the link for Dream Bigger below for you. And also we have got a survey, which I would be very grateful if you would be up for completing. That helps us to, thank you so much for sharing that. That helps us to shape our trainings moving forward. So we've got 2 links there for you, one for Dream Bigger and then one for the survey as well. And before we wrap up for today, we're going to do the draw for the Healing Space-Time in the Akashic Records. So let's see, has everybody shared their takeaways? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Laura, that's awesome. Joe stayed awake. Yes, well done, Joe. Alrighty, so let's get your takeaways in. So Joe's sharing a takeaway. Okay, fantastic. Here we go. Let's see. Beautiful. This is so awesome. Great seeing all these takeaways here. Love them. Yes, yes, yes. Alrighty, any more takeaways coming in? The name's going to go into the drawers. Beautiful. Really embodying these takeaways. Alrighty, the winner of Healing Space-Time in the Akashic Records is Laura Sheldon. Congratulations, Laura. Super excited for you. The team will get that over to you. Oh, I love it. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your takeaways. And for those of you that are like, oh, damn it, I didn't win it, but I really want to get my hands on that as well. We do have a shop on my website. I think it's www.louisahavers.com/shop, I believe, where you can purchase these Akashic Record activations if you're feeling like, I would love to get my hands on one. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that this has served. This isn't the end. We're going to be back with your future self progression on next Tuesday. Let me know if you're going to be joining us live or if you're going to be catching the replay. Any questions between now and then, please do pop them in the Facebook group. I'm going to be leaning in, checking in on the Facebook group, supporting you. I want to make sure, of course, if you want to revisit a replay, that you've got hands on the replays. Do let us know if you need a replay, and we will get the replay page over to you as well. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining us today. Sending you loads and loads of love. I will see you on Tuesday. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.